I can't find my Jungle Book. Where did it go? Oh my goodness, is it behind this tree? No, it's not behind that tree. Is it behind the other tree? Oh my gosh, it's right here.
Okay.
How is the Jungle Book? Is it really good?
Yeah. And this is the page.
Alrighty. Where's the page? Right there. Alright. Should we continue our story?
Dun.
Dinner time. Go run on in there. Thank you, No. Alright. Here we are, back in the jungle, fellas. So it's getting interesting, isn't it? Shere Khan seems to be maybe back on the scene. It says, in that it is an order, said Mowgli. I am a village herd for a while. What news of Shere Khan? He has come back to this country and was waiting here a long time for thee. Now he has gone off again. For the game is scarce, but he means to kill thee. Very good, said Mowgli. As long as he is away, do thou or one of the four brothers sit on that rock so that I can see thee as I come out of the village. When he comes back, wait for me in the ravine by the Daka tree in the center of the plain. We need not walk into Shere Khan's mouth. And Mowgli picked out a shady place and lay down and slept while the buffaloes grazed round him. Herding in India is one of the laziest things in the world. The cattle move and crunch and lie down and move on again, and they do not even low. They only grunt, and the buffaloes very seldom say anything but get down into the muddy pools one after another and work their way into the mud till only their noses and staring blue china eyes show above the surface, and then they lie like logs. The sun makes the rocks dance in the heat, and the herd children hear one kite never anymore whistling almost out of sight overhead, and they know that if they died or a cow died, that kite would sweep down, the next kite miles away would see him drop and follow, and the next and the next, and almost before they were dead there would be a score of hungry kites come out of nowhere. Then they sleep and wake and sleep again and weave little baskets of dry grass and put grasshoppers in them, or catch two praying manatees and make them fight, or string a necklace of red and black jungle nuts, or watch a lizard basking on a rock, or a snake hunting a frog near the wallows. Then they sing long, long songs with old native quavers at the end of them, and the day seems longer than most people's whole lives, and perhaps they make a mud castle with mud figures of men and horses and buffalo, and put reeds into the men's hands and pretend that they are kings, and the figures are their armies, or that they are gods to be worshipped. Then evening comes, and the children call, and the buffaloes lumber up out of the sticky mud with noises like gunshots going off one after another, and they all string across the great plain back to the twinkling village lights. Day after day, Mowgli would lead the buffalo out to their wallows, and day after day he would see the Gray Brothers back a mile and a half away across the plain. So he knew that Shere Khan had not come back. And day after day he would lie on the grass listening to the noises around him and dreaming of old days in the jungle. If Shere Khan had made a false step with his lame paw in the jungle by the Waingunga, Mowgli would have heard him in those long, still mornings. At last a day came when he did not see Gray Brother at the signal place, and he laughed and headed the buffaloes for the ravine by the Daka tree, which was all covered with gold red flowers. There sat Gray Brother, every bristle on his back lifted. He has hidden for a month to throw thee off thy guard. He crossed the ranges last night with Tabal-Kai, hot foot on thy trail, said the wolf, panting. Mowgli frowned. I am not afraid of Shere Khan, but Tabal-Kai is very cunning. Have no fear, said Gray Brother, licking his lips a little. I met Tabal-Kai in the dawn. Now he is telling all of his wisdom to the kites. But he told me everything before. I broke his back. Shere Khan's plan is to wait for thee at the village gate this evening for thee and for no one else. He is lying up now in the big dry ravine of Wanagunga. He has eaten today and has he eaten today, or does he hunt empty? Said Mowgli, for the answer meant life or death to him. He killed at dawn a pig, and he was drunk too. Remember, Shere Khan could never fast even for the sake of revenge. Oh, fool, fool, fool. What a cub's cub it is, eaten and drunk too, and he thinks that I shall wait till he has slept. Now, where does he lie up? If there were but 10 of us, we might pull him down as he lies. These buffalo will not charge unless they wind up. And I cannot speak their language. Can we get behind his track so that they may smell it? He swam far down the Wagunga to cut that off, said Gray Brother. Tabal-Kai told him that I know. He would never have thought of it alone. Mowgli stood with his finger at his mouth, thinking. The big ravine of the Wangagunga. That opens out into the plain not half a mile from here. I can take the herd round through the jungle to the herd of the ravine and then sweep down. But he would slink out at the foot. We must block that end, Gray Brother. Canst thou cut the herd in two for me? Not I, perhaps, but I have brought a wise helper. Gray Brother trotted off and dropped into a hole. Then there lifted up a huge gray head that Mowgli knew well, and the hot air was filled with the most desolate cry of all the jungle, the hunting howl of a wolf at midday. Akela, Akela, said Mowgli, clapping his hands. I might have known that thou wouldst not forget me. We have a big work in hand. Cut the herd in two. Akela. Keep the cows and calves together and the bulls and the plow buffaloes by themselves. The two wolves ran, ladies chain fashion, in and out of the herd, which snorted and threw up its head and separated into two clumps. In one, the cow buffaloes stood with their calves in the center and glared and pawed, ready, if a wolf would only stay still, to charge down and trample the life out of him. In the other, the bulls and the young bulls snorted and stamped. But though they looked more imposed, they were much less dangerous. Though they looked more imposing, they were much less dangerous, for they had no calves to protect. No 6 men could have divided the herd so neatly. What orders? Panted Akela. They are trying to join again. Mowgli slipped on to Rama's back, Drive the bulls away at the left. Akela, Gray brother. When we are gone, hold the cows together and drive them into the foot of the ravine. How far, said Gray brother. How far? Panting and snapping. Till the sides are higher than Shere Khan can jump, shouted Mowgli. Keep them there till we come down. The bulls swept off as Akela bayed, and Grey Wolf stopped in front of the cows. They charged down on him, and he ran just before them to the foot of the ravine as Akela drove the bulls far to the left. Well done! Another charge, and they are fairly started. Careful now, careful, Akela. A snap too much, and the bulls will charge. Hurrah, hurrah! This is wilder work than driving black buck. Didst thou think these creatures could move so swiftly? Mowgli cried. I have hunted these two in my time, gasped Akela in the dust. Shall I turn them into the jungle? I turn swiftly. They turn them. Rama is mad with rage. Oh, if I could only tell him what I need of him today. Excuse me. The bulls were turned to the right this time and crashed into the standing thicket. The other herd children watched with the cattle half a mile away, hurried to the village as fast as their legs could carry them, crying that the buffaloes had gone mad and run away. But Mowgli's plan was simple enough. All he wanted to do was make a big circle uphill and get at the head of the ravine, then take the bulls down and catch Shere Khan between the bulls and the cows, for he knew that after a meal and a full drink, Shere Khan would not be in any condition to fight or to clamber up the sides of the ravine. He was soothing the buffaloes now by voice, and Akela had dropped far to the rear, only whimpering once or twice to hurry the rear guard. It was a long, long circle, for they did not wish to get too far near the ravine and give Shere Khan warning. At last, Mowgli rounded up the bewildered herd at the head of the ravine on the grassy patch that sloped steeply down to the ravine itself. From that height, you could see across the tops of trees down into the plain below, but what Mowgli looked at was the size of the ravine, and he saw with a great deal of satisfaction that they ran nearly straight up and down, while the vines and creepers that hung over them would give no foothold to the tiger who wanted to get out. Let them breathe, Akela, he said, holding up his hand. They have not winded him yet. Let them breathe. I must tell Shere Khan who comes. We have him in the trap. He put his hands to his mouth and shouted down the ravine. It was almost like shouting down a tunnel. And the echoes jumped from rock to rock. After a long time, there came back the drawing, sleepy snarl of a full-fed tiger just wakening. Who calls? Who calls? Says Shere Khan with a splendid peacock fluttering up out of the ravine, screeching. I, Mowgli, cattle thief. It is time to come to Council Rock. Down. Hurry them down, Akela. Down, Rama. Down. The herd paused for an instant at the edge of the slope, but Akela gave tongue in the full hunting yell, and they pinched over one after the other, just as steamers shoot rapids. And the sands and the stones spurt up around them once started. There was no chance of stopping, and before they were fairly in the bed of the ravine, Rama winded Shere Khan and bellowed. Ha ha! Said Mowgli on his back. Now thou knowest. All right, we're getting close to it. Shere Khan and Mowgli are coming face to face, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe, I think tomorrow we'll conclude our journey in the jungle. So, until then, stay safe and have fun.